Do you suffer from anxiety when trying to sleep? Well, if so, then this video is for you. Also, if you just have problems falling asleep, then you might want to watch this video because I will share some really effective tips on how to deal with this. Scandinavian Bob here, hi. This channel is all about reducing anxiety and discovering interesting self-improvement tricks in order to build a stronger self. So, consider subscribing, click on the little bell icon, and let's get going. Okay, so anxiety when trying to sleep is actually pretty common, and the causes can be both biological and because of our thoughts, and we will cover both of them here. Anxiety when going to bed. Tip number 1. Do not eat a lot of carbohydrates before going to bed. Some people ask me, can you have anxiety while you sleep? And the answer is, oh yes, you can. I can take myself as an example here. Even if I now have been free from social anxiety and panic attacks for a few years, I can still get massive anxiety attacks when I'm sleeping. And this happens if I eat too many carbs before going to bed. Carbs or alcohol. If I consume one of those, I constantly keep waking up during the night because of horrible panic attacks. Listen, we do not want to have a sharp spiking blood sugar followed by a crash when trying to sleep, because that will lead to anxiety for a lot of people. Now, some people only get anxiety when this happens at night, but many people also respond to blood sugar crashes by getting anxiety during the daytime as well. In whatever group you belong, the solution is of course to cut down the amount of carbs you eat. The absolute worst thing you can do is to eat a few sandwiches late at night. They are loaded with carbs, and not only that, it's high glycemic index carbs on top of that. Now, a small amount of carbs is okay, and it's even beneficial. And now this leads me to the next tip. Stay with me here. How to calm anxiety at night. Tip number 2. Somewhere between 4 and 8 p.m. you want to eat some or several of these foods. Chicken, turkey, cheese, beef, fish, or eggs. Now these all contain high amounts of tryptophan. Tryptophan is the precursor to the neurotransmitter serotonin and the hormone melatonin. These two will both lower anxiety and help you fall asleep. But the problem is that tryptophan has a hard time entering the brain through the blood-brain barrier. So this is what I mean when I say that just a small amount of carbs is going to be helpful. You see, by eating just a half banana or a small apple or something similar, just a small amount, about 20 minutes before bedtime, you will raise your insulin levels just enough to push the tryptophan that you now have in your bloodstream through the blood-brain barrier without causing a nasty anxiety response that you get from a big load of carbs. So again, between 4 and 8 p.m. you want to eat some of those high tryptophan foods, and then just 20 minutes before going to bed, just a small amount of carbs. Alright? How to overcome anxiety at night. Tip number 3. Pen and paper. What do I mean here? Well, you see, another reason why anxiety gets worse at night is because we cut out all the stimuli, like we should, but then our thoughts continue to run. In other words, since you are now not distracting yourself with anything like you are during the day, your racing thoughts has more power over your alarm center in the brain, and thus you react by getting a nice dose of anxiety, preventing you from falling asleep. Now, the worst thing you can do here is to keep lying in bed and let the thoughts continue to race. You have to put a crack in the thought loop, and the solution to this is to get out of bed and do something. Almost anything you do will be better than just lying there, but the best thing you can do is to write down your thoughts on a piece of paper. This works because now your brain will be more likely to just let it go, as it feels it doesn't have to keep it in mind since you just put it down on paper. I really recommend you give this a try because it really works. Anxiety at night. Tip number 4. I highly recommend you get some blue light blocking glasses. You see, the display screens of computers, electronic notebooks, smartphones, and other digital devices emit significant amounts of blue light, and this will delay the release of the sleep-inducing melatonin and reset the body's internal clock. And for many, this will both increase their anxiety anxiety at night, and because of the suppressed melatonin, it also becomes much harder to fall asleep. I personally use blue light blocking glasses every single day, and 3 hours before going to bed, I put them on. Now you can find cheap and effective ones on Amazon, and I can put a link to the brand I personally use in the comment section for you. How to relax anxiety at night. Tip number 5. For some people, certain supplements can be very calming. Now, I will talk more about them in another video, but I can list a few of the most effective ones right now. Number 1. Magnesium. And here you should know that there are different forms of magnesium. Look for either magnesium glycinate or magnesium L-threonate if you want the best anxiety reduction. Number 2. Chamomile tea. Number 3. Ashwagandha. Number 4. Oil. And then number 5 is my personal favorite, and in order to not make this video too long, I talk more about what that is and where to get it in a blog post I recently made. So if you want something really effective known as an extra strength anxiety tool that both reduces your anxiety during the day and night and helps you sleep, then click the link under this video where it says blog post and you'll find it there. It is something that I have been using myself on and off for many years now, and the result can be truly shocking. Just click the link and you'll see what I mean. Alright, this is Scandinavian Bob signing out for today, and as always I wish you all the best in your journey to become the strongest version of yourself. And remember, as Winston Churchill used to say, if you're going through hell, keep going.